Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are fine. फ्रेंड्स, आज की इस वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे ईडिपस रेक्स की मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एमसीक्यूज। इसकी हम समरी पहले ही डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, वीडियो का लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। फ्रेंड्स, ये प्ले सोफोक्लीस ने लिखा था जो 496 बीसी में पैदा हुए। वीडियो को शुरू करने से पहले अगर आपने अभी तक हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो अभी इसे सब्सक्राइब कर लें और साथ ही लगे घंटी के निशान को प्रेस कर लें ताकि नई आने वाली वीडियो आप तक पहुंचती रहे। लेट्स स्टार्ट द टॉपिक। फर्स्ट MCQs is how many of Sophocles 125 plays survived? इसके ऑप्शंस हैं ऑप्शन ए 130, ऑप्शन बी 100, ऑप्शन सी 10, ऑप्शन डी 7 and the right option is 7. Next MCQs is which of the three Theban plays was probably written last? इसके ऑप्शंस हैं ऑप्शन ए Oedipus at Colonus, ऑप्शन बी No One Knows, ऑप्शन सी Oedipus the King, ऑप्शन डी Antigone and the right option is Oedipus at Colonus. Next MCQs is what does the name Oedipus means? ऑप्शन ए incest monger, ऑप्शन बी King of Thebes, ऑप्शन सी swollen foot, ऑप्शन डी blinded by fate and the right option is swollen foot. Next MCQs is Oedipus Rex solves the riddle of option A the Sphinx, option B the riddle of the murder of the king of Thebes, option C his identity, option D all of the above and the right option is all of the above. Next MCQs is the answer to the riddle of Sphinx is option A Apollo, option B man, option C God, option D all of the above and the right option is man. Next MCQs is an oracle is option A a gravesite, option B a festival held in the spring, option C a lyric poem, option D a place where Greeks could pray to a certain god or goddess and the right option is a place where Greeks could pray to a certain god or goddess. Next MCQs is Apollo functions in the plot through option A the sea Tiresias, option B the king of Thebes, option C the oracle of Delphi, option D the dreams of Jocasta and the right option is the oracle of Delphi. Next MCQs is what is the priest doing at the beginning of the play? Option A asking the gods for help, option B accusing Oedipus, option C asking Tiresias for help, option D sacrificing to the Sphinx and the right option is asking the gods for help. Next MCQs is which of the following is not mentioned as a problem in the city? Option A dying crops, option B a plague, option C rampant crime, option D dying livestock and the right option is rampant crime. Next MCQs is where did Oedipus send Creon at the beginning of the play? Option A to Corinth, option B the oracle of Delphi, option C to be banished from Thebes, option D to a crossroads and the right option is the oracle of Delphi. Next MCQs is what does Creon report? Option A that Jocasta's son must be found, option B that Tiresias killed Lois, option C that he will kill his father and marry his mother, option D that Lois' killer must be found and the right option is that Lois' killer must be found. Next MCQs is why didn't anyone investigate Lois' murder at the time? Option A Jocasta didn't want that, option B there was a blight on the city, option C the Sphinx was attacking the city, option D they didn't want anyone to know that Oedipus did it and the right option is the Sphinx was attacking the city. Next MCQs is The Sphinx can be thought of as representative of the great goddess because option A, it had the mind of a scorned woman. Option B, it had the physical aspects of a woman. Option C, it had the body of a serpent. Option D, it had been born of Gaia. And the right option is it had the physical aspects of a woman. Next MCQs is, what does Oedipus ask of the citizens of Thebes? Option A, he orders them to reveal the murderer if they know who he is. Option B, he orders them to hold a great celebration in the town. Option C, he orders them to go to the shrines and give offerings to the gods. Option D, he orders them to gather together and stay in their houses. And the right option is, he orders them to reveal the murderer if they know who he is. Next MCQs is, what does Tiresias say will happen to Oedipus? Option A, he will kill himself. Option B, he will leave Thebes a blind beggar. Option C, he will leave Thebes in triumph. Option D, he will marry Antigone. And the right option is, he will leave Thebes as a blind beggar. Next MCQs is, what does Jocasta convince Oedipus to do to Creon? Option A, banish him. Option B, abandon him. Option C, kill him. Option D, forgive him. And the right option is forgive him. Next MCQs is, what is Creon's relationship to Jocasta? Option A, brother. Option B, father. Option C, son. Option D, uncle. And the right option is brother. Next MCQs is, Jocasta tries to assure Oedipus that he is not guilty of Lois' death by stating that option A, Lois was killed by robbers at a place where three roads meet. Option B, Lois died a natural death. Option C, no one can avoid fate. Option D, Lois deserved to die for his arrogance. And the right option is, Lois was killed by robbers at a place where three roads meet. Next MCQs is, where was Lois killed? Option A, at the Battle of Troy. Option B, in jail. Option C, in his bath. Option D, at a crossroads. And the right option is at a crossroads. Next MCQs is, who gave Oedipus to Polybus and Merope? Option A, the Sphinx. Option B, Tiresias. Option C, the messenger. Option D, Jocasta. And the right option is the messenger. Next MCQs is, why does Oedipus think she does this? Option A, she is afraid that Oedipus is her son. Option B, she is afraid he is only a peasant. Option C, she is afraid that he will kill her. Option D, she is afraid that Tiresias will kill him. And the right option is, she is afraid he is only a peasant. Next MCQs is, what does the shepherd say when he arrives? Option A, he never saw the messenger before. Option B, he doesn't want to tell. Option C, he doesn't remember. Option D, all of the above. And the right option is all of the above. Next MCQs is, how does Oedipus treat this shepherd? Option A, he physically threatens him. Option B, he warmly welcomes him. Option C, he banishes him. Option D, he kills him. And the right option is, he physically threatens him. Next MCQs is, who gave Oedipus to the shepherd when he was a baby? Option A, Jocasta. Option B, Polybus. Option C, Lois. Option D, the Sphinx. And the right option is Jocasta. Next MCQs is, Jocasta killed herself because she, option A, couldn't bear the truth about her own son. Option B, couldn't bear to kill Oedipus. Option C, couldn't bear to kill her children. Option D, couldn't bear the insult of Tiresias. And the right option is, couldn't bear the truth about her own son. Next MCQs is, How many children does Oedipus have? Option A 2, option B 3, option C 4, option D none. And the right option is 4. Next MCQs is, what does Oedipus use to stab out his own eyes? Option A knives, option B sticks, option C the brooches from Jocasta rope, option D the horns of a sacrificial bull. And the right option is the brooches from Jocasta's robe. Next MCQs is, why did Oedipus blind himself? Option A, he couldn't bear to look at Jocasta. Option B, he didn't want sight when all he saw was ugly. Option C, he couldn't bear to look at his father in the underworld. Option D, all of the above. And the right option is all of the above. Next MCQs is, why doesn't Creon let him leave immediately? Is, he has to bury Jocasta. Option B, he has to take care of his children. Option C, he has to wait for Apollo's word. Option D, he has to kill Tiresias. And the right option is, he has to wait for Apollo's word. Next MCQs is, Oedipus can be considered to triumph in the end because Option A, he accepts his fate without blaming the gods. Option B, he accepts his limitations. Option C, he doesn't choose death. Option D, all of the above. And the right option is all of the above. So friends, आज की इस वीडियो में हमने सोफोक्लिस का एक इम्पॉर्टेंट प्ले एडिपस रेक्स की मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट एमसीक्यूज देखी जो कि हर टेस्ट में रिपीट होती हैं। वीडियो को लाइक करें, शेयर करें। स्टे ट्यून्ड फॉर द नेक्स्ट वीडियो। स्टे ब्लेस्ड, कीप वॉचिंग। अल्लाह हाफिज़।